over the decades, but I did have it at one time, and it is a fine piece of music. I mean, Janice, she was a tormented spirit, and she sang her heart out on it. So, what's up, everybody? So good to see you. Let's see, I got that. It says we're live. So, hey, good to see y'all. Favor to everyone, be of service to others. Cut the curse. That's what the t-shirt is for the day. That's just cuts the curse, you know. Uh, Big hug to everybody out there. Boy, we need it, folks. We need it. So, what's up, everybody? Thank you, all the moderators in the house, and all the Soul Tribe has arrived. Hey, David Castle, how are you doing? I think I saw Jules the Alchemist here. That's early down where you are, Jules. Love you, dear. Saw you all the time on Andromeda 7. Hey, Lost in Space. What's up? Indigo Alien, welcome. Favor to you, brother. Knowledge Seeker, what's up? John, hello. Kent and Deborah and Jargo, hello. Jenny, what's up? Stormy, good to see you. Greetings. Susie Q, hello. How are you? There you go. Doris, good to see everyone. And Gary, good to see you. Hello, Deborah Sloan. So, how was y'all's Saturday and Sunday? You ever feel like the background shows, this is really what's happening to us. There's really more to that graphic than what it graphically expresses, although it expresses it graphically. So I guess we're all there. So, hey, Robert V, what's up? Saw you over the weekend. Good show there, Posey. So speaking of your show Friday, Robert V, over the Milky Way Soul Tribe, had Marsha on myself. Marsha and I got together yesterday and actually recorded a session for the Steiger perspective. Oh, folks, it's going to be on this week, this Thursday. It's a humdinger. It's titled, What's the Rush? Seriously, what's the rush? So, Marsha, love you. And she's going to be on tomorrow with Trina and I, and great topic. Prison planet. It may very well be. It could be. I mean, I'm going to be presenting kind of a collage of a lot of what we have been assimilating, particularly the last 2-3 weeks, and have a lot more to build on it. And it's it's a mind scrambler. So get ready. Hey, Angelina, how you doing? I love that. That's a beautiful name. Angelina. It flows. You know what I'm saying? Good to see you. What does basto mean? It means be of service to others. Yeah, that's it. Hey, Shannon, what's up? Well, the trick on that one, Shannon, is to get someone else's arm, but hey, if it's bringing in freedom, and in this realm, freedom is commerce. I mean, that's what drives this whole thing. Let's see, on Wednesday, just so I know this, so everyone can get it out, April and Jay from the Spiritually Raw channel. And got a couple of others that be next Wednesday. Lee Ryder is coming back on, Ryder Lee, excuse me. And want to get a few others on here. And so that's what we're doing. Oh, I tell you, Marsha, this place is like, it's like the hot springs of knowledge, We come here to meet in fellowship, but we're digging the hot spring pools, Yeah, it feels good. And then you got the other extreme. When I lived in Austin, Barton Creek, the springs up there, when it's like 109 degrees in Austin, which it does get, it's really cool to go out to Barton Springs. It's like refreshing. So, hey, Pamela, what's up? Paul from Newcastle, hello. And Delta Hook, good to see you. AK Morningstar, what's up? Hey, Nina, are you there? Good to see you, dear. How you feeling? And Jill, hello, what's up? So, I put together, Sherry, I did read your email about your dream. It's got something in there. When you're having threes show up in your dreams, you need to pay significance to that because it's, yeah. So what's up, Shannon? Oh, I hear you. I hear you. Isn't that the truth? Yeah. Yeah. I started out in restaurant business. Hey, Troy, what's up? I can remember I was living in the Montrose area. This was 1970. And there was a restaurant right off of Montrose. I think it may have been California or one of them. I'm not rightly sure. Have to pull back the tape, but it was called The Natural Child, and it was a great restaurant. It was all natural before all natural was in vogue, and reason why I'm saying that, I just started out as like the bus boy. Man, I was just 15 and kind of digging it. And they had a lot of cool people that worked there. And anyway, it got so busy one day, they wanted me to go out there and help with the wait staff. That was yeah, man. I said, back in the kitchen didn't seem so bad after having to literally run a sweat. So yeah. So you're welcome, Sherry. Yeah, yeah. So, Danielle, trust me, it is going to be a good one. The conversation that Marsha and I had it was probably one of the most natural flowing conversations in radio setting, and I love radio. I really enjoy it. It's a cool medium, and if you treat it as a medium, it can do powerful things for you. This is a medium. This medium here, though, is controlled, and we're going to get into that. In fact, why do we not get into it now? Hello, Australia. What's up? Got lots of folks down there. Love the folks in Australia. Although, been seeing some of those videos from your news channel down there on the spiders. Yikes. And the mice. And then the snakes. Yeah, that'll give you really sweet dreams on it. So, hey, Space, what's up? Well, thank you. Glad you're here. How's the book going? I'm still writing it. Every one of these shows is actually, but to answer your question, literally, I'm still writing it. It's going to be a humdinger. Hey, Mad Cow, what's up? So, Morning Star. Peace. So I did this PowerPoint, and particularly after Marsha and I, when we got on, finished with our recording, so we're reading a number of books. The Terra Papers, we're still into that. The Time Loop Chronicles. I'm about to introduce you to a series of books that, well, you can't find them. They're out of print. And the ones that are for sale are in the hundreds to thousands of dollars. Now, when I see that and they're not reprinting it and they know the demand is there, folks, that's the type of knowledge that, unfortunately, if this was 20 years ago, would have been prohibited to most people. So let's just kind of come together here and say this. I think we can agree on this, that Earth is unique. Earth there's something about it. It is unique amongst all planets. You know, when you look at the potential of other Earths, which no doubt are out there, we just can't find them. And that makes this situation even more unique. So we have to start looking at things from the perspective that Earth is a prized possession. We don't own this planet. Human, all life on this planet that's on the surface of this planet, and I would probably say under the surface, they don't really own this planet. And when you think about commerce, seems commerce is universal. Seems that, you know, that there are in fact higher intelligences than humanity. One of the questions that came up in Marsha's and our interview that we were doing. So let me ask you this. Do you really think humans, Homo sapiens sapiens, however you want to classify our genus, do you really think that we're in control? Do you really think that humanity is calling the shots here, that we have no need and there is no other higher intelligence either watching, supervising, or guiding? We act on this earth as though we are the only thing that happens. We think that we can actually destroy this earth. I think that if we ever took that boneheaded move, I don't think it would be permissible, but there is the law of non-interference. But it is a clear evidence that Earth is, because we don't own this planet, there's higher intelligence than us, and whatever that intelligence is, they're actually calling the shots. So it looks like Earth has been fought over for many times. We can't remember. Our memories have been erased. It was there was a news story out today that German scientists have now successfully implanted false memories of a person's life and then erase those memories. Now, if we can do that ourselves, I dare say somebody else has been doing it on us. It does seem like this region of space, that there is yet still an ongoing galactic war. But what's really odd is that it appears that as far as Earth is concerned, we've only had a very few rulers, or at least to what I think the Acacia, well, that was a weird, I saw myself and I went, Steiger, you got such fine skin there, but had very few rulers. I mean, it appears that we've really had not that many, at least that we can remember of. From what I can ascertain, we've either had as few as 2, or maybe as many as 12. Who knows? Could be a lot more than that. I don't rightly know. But here's the other odd thing. They all seem to be negative. It seems like there was sometime back one that was of a positive charge, a positive realm, but seems like all the others have been negative. This gets weirder. This is my opinion, and it's the best way I know to express it, to be as honest as it can be. The current rulers are assholes. And I don't think it's just one. I think that it is, in fact, I don't know. You could say that this could be a council. Um, could be. Another term I've heard is federation. Another term is a house. In other words, it appears through a genetic bloodline. And this house is what we would call royalty, although they're not us. They're not humanids, not even close. Although we are a part of them, I'm not so much sure that they're so much a part of us. But yeah, from what we've been able to read, discover, they rule over many other planets, habitable zones, the Goldilocks zone. Not all stars have them, but stars such as ours, and who knows, other stars of a different nature. But then again, we define life so narrowly. We define life as carbon based, that they have to be bipedal in nature and some sort of hominin that has a relationship to what we perceive to be intelligent life. It appears that Earth is nothing more than commerce. That's all it is. It's its only value. It has a value as a planet. Apparently, all planets have value. Other planets have greater value. It would appear that life is nothing more than commerce. Commerce is defined here in the trading of either energy or materially. Planet has tremendous resources, it's different atmospheres. But if it also has something that Earth has, and that is an abundance of life, that jacks the value of the planet up immensely. As I said, planets have value in different forms, minerals, bioforms. And here's one that appears to be, and I think all of us have experienced this, still are. There's a certain psyche. Yeah, psychic. And this is not just, psychic abilities. No, this is the psyche of life. Humans. We have something that apparently not all intelligent life forms. Listen, intelligence does not require mercy. Higher intelligence does not require spirituality. Higher intelligence does not necessarily require materialism. And here's the hard thing that most people can't accept. Higher intelligence does not need emotion. In fact, emotions are a cancer. It's a disease. And as long as life forms are caught into this emotional river, you're going to always be easily subjected to deception, manipulation, interrogation, intimidation. But there's something about this psychic form, the psyche that generates a unique energy. And these beings have always seen us as food. Humans are food. And I don't care what your belief system is, examine it. If you're a Christian, then you are in a consumption reality. If you're a Muslim, if you're a Hindu, Jew, it doesn't matter. All these mind viruses are designed to invoke emotion from their worshipers. We see this as we grow up. You have your cliques in school. You have the cool kids, and then you have, the other classification. Why? Because we, even as children, we feed off the misery of others. Starts very early because we're nothing more than conduits. So as children can be extremely cruel to one another, outdo a human adult. Children can be the master manipulators. They learn very quickly what gets a response, either negatively or positively. Children are masters at directing negative, positive charges. Literally. Humans have been fed upon from the very beginning. We don't like to think about this because it's repulsive to us, but yet we do the very same thing to the other two kingdoms here. Takes one to know one, right? And you can say you reap what you sow. So if we feed upon other flesh, what makes you think that a God would not consume our flesh as well? And they do. Oh, I know this is getting to some, but folks, it's everything that what we have been reading. So it would appear from the beginning, humans provided a rich resource of labor. I can show you that in any religion, that humans are nothing more than slaves. It's what we were manufactured for. The thing that got weird is that when suddenly we developed this thing that we now have, we perceive that we think we have a soul. More evidence would show that we are spirit energy of an ethereal kind more than of the soulish realm. But because of the realm and the lack of our memories, we invent this because it comforts us. But what we never understood, you see, the real value is our psyche. No religion can exist, no political party, no social party, none of them can exist if the humans do not feed into its energy. Now, once humans begin to get the psyche involved, these other beings, they're literally at the table with a straw connected right to your head. Or you could say your spirit. It's actually more of the brain because that's where they're feeding from. Sounds weird, isn't it? We never found the value of, when a human stops believing in a God, that God stops existing. No God can exist without a human's worship. And that worship is really nothing more than a perverted form of our psyche, our energy. What gives Earth so much value are that humans, and it's true here, the humans were harvested for our emotions. This is the real value. All of our philosophy, our ideology, our belief systems, they're all designed to invoke an emotion. Now, one of the things that I know when I came out of my coma from the meningitis and a good dose of Lyme disease on top of it, because of the damage that had been done, particularly to my nervous system, um, my doctor, she had to keep me at a place of where I was emotionally zero. And one of the parts of my nervous system is that I lost the ability for the longest time of having emotion. It was weird. They had me on a number of drugs that took years to get out of my system. But there are those who walk around who don't even need that have no emotion at all. This is either a protection net of advanced beings who have immersed themselves into this planet realm. And it has to be potentially possible, or they literally have no emotion at all. But we can see by the 24-hour, 7-day a week, 365 days a year, the news cycle. You know, we were originally designed to have complete downtime. We don't get that today. We were designed to basically not be fed so much stimuli that reacts to us emotionally. Today, the human population is on steroids, easily swayed. And we don't see this as manipulation. Many of us recognize it as that, but we never equated it being harvested. The richness of this emotion, this psych energy, is it's addictive to these beings. And that's why they're not going to give up this planet realm that easily. They've been here a long time. They're addicted to us as much as we are addicted to them. But this is an imagine now. You see, the rulers feed off of emotions, whether it's positive or negative. To them, it's still the same. It's like us going in and having a buffet, and you have chicken, you have pork, you have beef, you have seafood. It's a variety of the same thing. It's protein, it's meat. Now, you may not like one, you may have a preference for the other. But this is what they're doing to us. Those who rally around their faith and their beliefs and their made up books. It's all designed to be feeding off of you, because once you align yourself with your energy by opening up your consciousness to that energy, it's a hierarchy that has been established. You become a part of the buffet, and you will experience within every belief system, and no matter what the ideologue is, whether you're a political individual or religious one, academic, it doesn't matter. You're going to be the food, and your emotions are the ones that are going to be at play here. In your career, you will be subjected to criteria, environments, programming that will in fact evoke an emotional response that you will carry with you every day when you go into that job or that career, whatever it is. And you have this umbilical cord. You have your own group of feeders pretty bizarre to think about it, but that's how these beings work. Each one of you, myself, there are a group of feeders, and sometimes we're actually shared. Consumption. That's why national tragedies, worldwide calamities are so delicious, because that psych energy is of the most purest kind. And it only comes around every 12,000 or so years in these cycles. And when the harvesters begin to allow the others to know, they begin to come in ships. They become in visions of demons, of angels, but they start coming in because the feeding is about to become, oh, so delicious, divine. And yet we down here, we get wrapped up in our emotions. Well, he said that, or she said that. And, you can't be in a perfect environment. Why? Because your emotions are being fed upon. And we can't allow you to become non-emotional. We have to have an emotional response from you. All worship, all love, all hate, all politics, all games, all sports, all sleep, sex, religions, singing, dancing, anything that evokes an emotional response is food. Yeah, we don't like to think about this one, do we? Because this is so repulsive. It's so opposite of what we have spent at least this 1,000 years, and apparently other thousands of years, believing that this is what identified us. And it sucks. I mean, you look at this list and the list could go on and on. Bottom line, all of these evoke an emotion. And here's the thing. The more turmoil, the more chaos, the more confusion, the more the rulers feed. These are easier. They're quicker. When the negative emotions are consumed by these negative entities from a negative realm, a physical space, more feed more quickly, and it has to be replenished. And that's why you have people who are so subjected to depression, oppression, easily confused. And no matter how they seem to want to escape turmoil, is ever present. And as hard as they try, they can't seem to break this connection. There's a reason for it. Certain individuals apparently have a particular, I would say, spice. You have a different flavor. And you are more subjective to these bouts. When you feel drained, there's a reason why you feel drained. There's a reason why you can sleep and wake up tired. Some of us have been prime stock. Apparently, the more empathic, intuitive, psychically prone we provide a particular source of delicacy. Now, it's been primarily reserved for the organized religions and political groups. But things have changed. There is something going on, and this is one of the down effects. You see, our misery is valuable. When you're higher vibration, emanating positivity, that's kind of like a red beacon. They see that. And the value that we're traded on is our ability to how much negative energy we can provide them through our psych energy of our life, our spirit beings, call it what you want. And if you have a planet that has 7.5 billion miserable people on it, the value of the planet skyrockets. And the realms that we have no idea exist that feed off this, it becomes very valuable currency. Now, if you look at what they've done to the world, particularly the pharmaceutical companies, you begin to see there's something going on. Why? Because humans are the exhibit. We are the zoo. We're on display. I'll like to have that lobster, please. And I'll have that human. That one right there, she just seems, oh, look at her. She just is in such turmoil. Do you see the energy coming? Oh, that's the one I want right there. And then your party says, we'll share in that as well. You see, we feed them and we entertain them. We don't like to think this at all. This sucks, Steiger. Yeah, I know. But if you look at our history of what we can actually remember and what we're reading now, we're nothing more than what's on the menu. We've been at this a long time. And typically when you have a food source that's harvested as plentifulness as we are on this planet, the rulers, the owners, are going to make sure to protect their investment. Now, there could be a potential sell. There could be a potential hostile takeover. It's still going to remain the same for us, or at least that's what it has been. And this is the ultimate prize right there. That's the prize. You get connected, you get, how should we say, blended with one of these, or 8 billion of these, you've got a power source that is, it's unbelievable. It is. We don't understand it. It's beyond it's beyond our comprehension what's going on. I think many of us have gotten small glimpses of it. Why? Because something's changed. I don't know. Maybe there is a rescue party, as Ariel has said in Alien Interview. Maybe that is the purposes of the Buddha, the Christ consciousness, wherever we want to say, but it's here. This is the prize. If our consciousness has the ability to blend in a way that you're bringing ethereal matter, which consciousness seems to be, and you blend it into one of these, oh, wow. Humans have been so suckered by taking the bare minimum and allowing the most precious part of us to be fed upon. We don't seem to understand. And that's the question. Do you understand? It's all about the control of your emotions. It's weird, I know. And it's kind of bizarre when you think about it. I mean, it really is. It is totally bizarre, but the evidence would suggest that this is exactly what's happening. Let's see. I'm just reading some of the comments in the chat room. Don't get distracted, bus driver. But yeah, I mean, look at this. It's I think we just have to begin to accept that there are some things that have been done to us, and they powers to be, particularly those of higher intelligence. And again, I don't think these higher intelligent beings have emotions. I really don't. That's why they find ours so refreshing. It's the true voyeurism. You know what I mean, baby? Let's see. What's Marsha say? I think I see what you're talking about. Y'all talking about the savior complex? That is about as old as we are. Not as old as our memories, but much more older than what we actually are. So yeah. Let's see. Indigo Alien says we may control our emotions, but not well enough to suppress them, and certainly not enough to prevent being fed off of. Yeah, I mean, it's a concept that there have been those thinkers who have done that. I want to introduce y'all to an author that give me 1 second, because I want to. He is remarkable. And let's see. No, I think we want to go over here. Yes, thank you. This guy is probably his books. I just want to show you who he is. I have a number of his books, and they're all on PDF because you can't buy them. Valdemar Valerian. This guy, he was writing about the Matrix before the Matrix was the Matrix. Does that make sense? His books, again, you can't find them. I'm just now getting into them, and they are mind-blowing. This man, he knew. This is Matrix 2. There's 5 of them. Each book is between 600 pages to 700 or 800. This is the second one. This is the abduction and manipulation of humans using advanced technology. And what we don't understand is that we have been the food source. That's why they're here. When we see the ships and what have you, they're not here as our friends. Many of them are coming in to feed. And we don't like to think about that. But if they are beings at all, that means that they're spending energy. So they have to consume energy. There has to be unless they have found a perpetual source for energy on a level that we don't understand. But Valdemar, he really brings this out in such a way that these books are just they're right in line with what we're reading. And I want to get to right here one thing that he brought out in one point, because it comes into this. He said, over the last 20 years, we have accumulated information that suggests that the human population on this planet has been subject to intense manipulation by off-world forces, aliens, we can call them. And then the human population on Earth is considered by some species to be a slave race, a food source, a genetic pool, We feel that this is inappropriate and that sentient beings have an innate right to be evolved without manipulation or being fed upon. There is also a segment of the human population that composes the planetary power structure that is slave to the negative forces and continues to foster a type of elitism that does not contribute to the development of the human species. The continuation of master-slave domination through patterns that have been placed on this planet is no longer appropriate. There are other ways to conduct a civilization. Wow. A lot of science has gone into what we see today, which we call civilization. And it's a deception. Today is no different than in the Roman arenas. We are all in the gladiator games. And it's a hell of a fight from the minute you land in here to the time they kick your sorry ass out, because you're going to get beat up. You're going to be wore out. But the time you leave, you're begging for sleep, rest, because your energy has been depleted and consumed to the level that it's made you old, forgetful. But you're going to keep on worshiping. You see, they can't exist without this. And you know, folks, it's all the same. These are different books. This one is Time Reality, how they split. And the author here says people are machines. Machines have to be blind and unconscious. They cannot be otherwise. And all their actions have a correspondent to their nature. Everything happens. No one does anything. Progress and civilization, in the real meaning of these words, can appear only as the result of conscious efforts. They cannot appear as a result of unconscious mechanical actions. And what conscious effect can there be in machines? If one machine is unconscious, then 100 machines are unconscious. And so are the 1,000 machines and 100,000 or 1,000,000. And the unconscious activity of 1,000,000 machines must necessarily result in destruction and extermination. It is precisely the unconsciousness, involuntary manifestations that all evil lies. You see, this professor was writing the fact that it would appear that who's ever controlling and feeding off of us, you think about this, ladies and gentlemen, for just a second. I'll pull out of here because I got so much more to dig into. It's the reason for these black boxes. When I was traveling on the road pretty extensively, I began to see the phenomenon where people were stuck. We call it, we've done video, all of you've seen it. It's what humans have done. We have become unconsciously aware that we're asleep. And the boxes, this was part of the trick. And now we can't say anything other than that because the machine is listening. But when you think about these black boxes, I have contended for nearly a decade, these devices are merely extensions that it's like a conduit. It hits this, it goes from here to here, here to there to there. They feed off of this. When we focus our energy, our concentration on these devices, the apps, we're going to get into another one. Remember the Pokemon thing before the virus? And it was affecting not only the kids, but you saw the 20-somethings, the 30-somethings, even the 40-somethings going around in an augmented reality using these black boxes devices, and that was that augmented reality became reality. It invoked emotions, intense emotions. In fact, when they began to add commerce to that where you could begin to get the prizes as you were doing your Pokemon chase and going through this, the emotions became commingled. They coalesced together. And folks, that intense psych energy that is being poured into it is not going to be wasted. And what it proved, it was we advanced. Our handlers, the rulers of this world, that was an experiment on a human worldwide basis, augmenting reality in the real world. And it's an advance for a species to suddenly begin to break down the barriers of what perceived reality is. And it's all because of the emotions. Assimilate. It does sound like the Borg, doesn't it? I swear. Let's see what that thing. It's like, what happened to the picture? It got bigger, man. But it's true. I mean, there's even more on this. You see, let me show you. It's not just one paper. I am actually going to get Paul Safariazi. He's going to be coming on, and this gentleman has done so much intense research in all of his papers. You just have to go to academia.edu, and you can get all of his papers. He really has focused in on this, where Valdemar was at, and these books are, I can only imagine what they're, like I said, I've just got them. They're thousands of pages to be read. But in here, I like what Paul writes. He said, the question is, would you elaborate on negative aliens? Now, we've often seen aliens as good guys or bad guys. We never thought of them being of a physical negative polarity, which means that they would have a very difficult time existing without certain conditions that have already been met. But anyway, so here's his response. 1, the negative aliens originated from the gestalt of consciousness billions of years ago that emanated from one or more individuals who overutilized their right of willpower to take over the time matrix by subjugating other solar consciousness beings to their whims, effectively defying the most fundamental law of God, that is non-interference. Now, one of the things I'm looking forward when Paul comes on is to ask him the concept of God. But I guess you can say that it would be original thought for me. But anyway, the law of interference asserts that no one is to suppress or deny another solar conscious being's right of free will. This would imply that each solar system, if it has life in it, then, they're like their community, like ours, except we don't know who lives in ours other than us. Now, this is really interesting because I like where he brings in another dimension of several names that we all know of. 3 names come to mind: the Metrodron, Lucifer, and Satan, as well as the many seraphim and lower solar conscious beings, such as the cherubims referred to as angels. So I can see where Paul is, coming from. It's interesting because, again, it expounds upon this whole area. He says, while Lucifer and Satan are well known as fallen or anti-God in all religious texts, the Metatron is traditionally revered as even being as the Lord of light or the second of God. Now, you put this into the construct of ET, right? This becomes really weird because the confusion around, like the show we did last week, Katrina and I, what is evil? Well, if someone's feeding off of me emotionally, I don't know, for me, that sounds evil. I don't like that. I mean, I've been bit by a tick, several of them. And I don't like anything sucking my blood, even my psychic blood. And apparently there is such a thing as psychic blood, in a sense that if blood is the life source, then our psych energy would be what? The essence of life? Or is it then basically there's some alchemy taking place? We're in an environment that where our emotions are commingled with something else that is providing a food source to what we call aliens. I don't know if they should be called aliens. I don't know if they're off-worlders. I don't know if it's from these other realms that we fantasize about, think about. Parasites. I like that. I agree. Monica, absolutely. Yeah, Jenny, you're right, dear. Those ticks have no consciousness, which makes you think, well, hell, if, no emotion, right? And what a conundrum we're in. I mean, if this is true, and folks, I contend, all of y'all know this, there's something going on in our world today. There is something deliberately trying to divide all of us. There is something that is trying to invoke these negative emotions on a level unprecedented in our history, or at least the history we can remember. I mean, our world's gone through numerous world wars, and the division, the hatred, the turmoil, the confusion, the chaos. It's like someone is freaking turning up the amplifier. And I can't help but not think that this is an agenda. And sure enough, it is an agenda. It's a huge agenda. Now, what they're going to do with all of us knowing, I don't think they give a damn. I really don't. Because the very few of us that actually know, they're looking at the numbers. Let's say we had 500 million on our side. Let's just say we did. Well, they're coming back and they're saying, that's fine. We got 7.5 billion on our side. What are you going to do? There is a way. There has to be a way. I mean, all right, if love conquers all, so do we neutralize love? Is love positive or negative? Let's stop and think about this. Is love positive or negative? And does love need to be positive or negative? Could love be a neutral zone where it neutralizes both negative and positive energies? I mean, someone says love without understanding is negative. It's an interesting question. I have seen love that was very destructive. That would be negative, right? I mean, if it's destroying something or someone, I've seen love heal. I've seen positive aspects of it. It's interesting. Can love be a neutral position? Interesting question, isn't it? Bernadette says all depends on who you love. Well, I guess that's true. Interesting spaces. Water, yeah, love can do something so bad, or it can be something. It's an interesting idea. I mean, if they're feeding off the negativity on this, then there has to be a neutralizer. There has to be something that where you don't give up an attribute that defines our species, but one that's been used against us. Maybe it was even genetically put into us. It's interesting now. Yeah. But so, Al, would you say that love is either positive or negative, or does it need to be either way? I don't know. Love is the weak nuclear force. Okay. It's just one of those questions. Well, I see my hour's come and gone. Well, it's been fun, folks. Didn't even get into any of the material that, of course, that's always how it is. So what's up, Jenny? I think codes. Yeah. You know, Jenny, we're going to get back on in our discussion since we had our last one cut off. But let's talk about these codes, Jenny. I'll get with you on that. So if you got this Thursday, maybe we can do a makeup session. We certainly got myself spanked, like, well, excuse me. All right. Meant no harm. Yeah. Crazy. All right. So tomorrow, got Marsha coming on with Trina and I, and going to be talking about Prison Planet. I mean, think about it now. I don't know. Space, that's cool. Yes, we ought to do the mind meld. I could see that. And I think it's happening. I was writing to Rennie, a very, very dear friend of mine. And, as I was telling her that with Lynn and I, it's getting almost commonplace now. I can hear her thoughts and she can hear mine. She wasn't feeling good this weekend, and I instinctively felt her thoughts where she was wanting something or that. And yeah, so that tells me that there's something afoot here. So let's see what else. Oh, I like that. An energetic insulator. I like that. That's a hell of an good idea. It's like the people I've said earlier that that have no emotion. If you have no emotion, you're not going to get excited. You're not going to get too wound up about anything. I don't know. I was that way for a number of years. And I got to tell you, it was hard for relationships because people couldn't understand it. It wasn't a case that I didn't care. I just didn't care. Does that make sense? If any of you ever been down that road, I mean, to recover from, the meningitis and then the nice little spirochetes from the Lyme disease did to me, it was a wrecking ball. But yeah. And, you learn a certain wisdom from that. It's like, well, don't you love me? Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Well, show some emotion. I am. I love you a lot. Well, you don't look like it. Doesn't matter. I still love you. It bugs the crap out of other human beings. They go, what the hell? All right. I appreciate all of you so much. Thank you all. I speak favor over you, much healing and protection. And we'll meet together tomorrow. And listen, tomorrow's going to be, I wouldn't miss that show. I mean, it will be no doubt one for the the annals of our soul tribe. All right, much love to all of you. Thank you so much.